Hi, my name is called Pierre and let's start with Ark, Survival Evolved. You are stranded naked, freezing and starving on the shores of a mysterious island called the Ark. You must hunt, harvest resources, craft items, grow crops, research technologies and build shelters to withstand the elements. Use your cunning and resources to kill or tame and breed many different species of dinosaurs. Various Potatosauruses, Coldbearer-raptors and other ancient creatures roaming the land, and team up or prey on hundreds of other players to survive and dominate. Speaking about domination, when I was like 10 years old and I was visiting the bathroom in my friend's house, I was trying to pee as loudly as possible to show his family who the real alpha male is. His father never let me in ever again. You know, out of fear. So domination is in my genes. I hope it is in yours as well. Iron Marines. Well, it's hard to introduce this game somehow differently than as a flat 2D StarCraft, and you know what? It's great! The art style may look very familiar to some of you because the game is made by the same developers of Kingdom Rush, as I always say, one of the best tower defense games ever made. So here you'll recruit and train the greatest heroes in the galaxy, lead them into dangerous missions against near impossible odds and unleash their mighty powers and abilities. In short, you will get 21 campaign missions across 3 different worlds, and each mission will require new tactics and actions to achieve victory. You will have to defeat unique bosses and control 14 different heroes. Game allows you to choose from several difficulty modes, meaning that it can be enjoyed either by noobs or by veterans of the genre. Game is quite funny, filled with Easter eggs and more than 70 achievements for you to unlock. People on Steam are saying that if you want to play something like StarCraft but don't want to fry your brain while doing that, Iron Marines is the next best thing. Game has a very positive review score, so this may very well be what you were looking for after all. Satisfactory. This game is basically a 3D Factorio, but Factorio is being cocky about it and is never discounted, so let's talk about Satisfactory instead. Here you will defeat nature by building massive factories everywhere, expand wherever and however you want, without any annoying regulations we have here on Earth, because you are not on Earth anymore. All those animals and plants that live here are scientifically unimportant. They live to serve you and your factory. Here you'll find about 30 square kilometers, which is about 11 square miles of terrain filled with unique flora and fauna. You can recycle everything and make factories out of them. Build beautiful metal constructions instead of ugly nature. Cover the whole surface of the planet with your elegant conveyor belts and train tracks. Make that pathetic natural habitat disappear and make beauty instead. Be a true hero of the industrial era. Batman: Arkham Origins. Although it was the third Arkham game, it is the first one story-wise. Taking place before the rise of Gotham City's most dangerous criminals, the game showcases a young and unrefined Batman. He faces a defining moment in his early career as a crime fighter that sets his path to becoming the Dark Knight. The game features a pivotal tale set on Christmas Eve, where Batman is hunted by 8 of the deadliest assassins from the DC Comics universe. You will become a rookie Batman as he encounters for the first time many of the characters that shape his future. Here you'll find a case file system that allows you to analyze seemingly impossible to solve crime reconstructions in real time. Combining Batman's sensors with a Batcomputer, you can digitally recreate crimes and study detailed simulation of the act as it happened. So it can sound weird, but this is a detective game. But you are not only an investigator. Oh no, you are the justice itself. The Last Spell. This is a tactical RPG with roguelite elements, in which you have to defend a city against a hordes of deadly enemies. During daytime you will have to prepare your heroes and carefully choose how to rebuild your haven and position your defenses. Over the night you will use all your skills, traps and weapons to exterminate all the monsters coming at your walls. It won't be easy.
It's not your sister.
Then in your spare time you will heal, level up and repeat until the magic seal is broken. The game has similarities to the Arbillions. The only difference here is the game is turn-based and not an RTS, so you can carefully plan your every move, although that doesn't mean that it is an easier game. By contrary, the game even feels unfairly difficult from the start. But as you play you get more and more cool stuff you can use against your enemies and you start feeling like a boss. That won't be for long, believe you me, difficulty spikes are quite common here, although they are all conquerable. The game seems to know what your limits are, and people who tried The Last Spell really liked it. On Steam it has around 90% of positive reviews. Severed Steel. Here you will play as a woman named Steel. You have a prosthetic arm and you use it to navigate the levels, which adds an interesting and unique element to the gameplay. And although Steel has no arm, she's not armless, if you know what I mean. Honestly, here you'll find a huge arsenal of arms, just not arms. The game's physics engine can be a little bit wild at times, which makes for some hilarious moments when enemies get flung around like ragdolls. And with a killer soundtrack that perfectly matches the game's pace, Severed Steel is really fun to play. Whether you are a hardcore FPS fan or just looking for a casual game, I think it's worth your time. It has more than 90% of positive reviews on Steam, and that is always a proof of a good game. Lies of P. In this Souls-like game, you are a puppet who's caught in a web of lies with monsters and untrustworthy figures. You are awakened by a mysterious voice that guides you through a plagued city of Krat, a once lively place that has been poisoned by madness and bloodlust. If this description reminds you of your ex, then all good, you are half ready for the adventure. Here you will develop a unique combat style to counter your enemies by weaving together dynamic weapon combinations and activating new abilities. Lies of P is a reimagined fairy tale of Pinocchio, reinterpreted as a dark, grim narrative. You know, a Pinocchio for adults. When you lie, it's not the nose that's growing. If you add another P to the name of the game, you will understand what I have in mind. No, really, nothing like that, it's a joke. I played the demo version of the game and all I gathered was, again, that I suck at Souls-like games and I shouldn't even touch them. If you are like me, avoid this title. Few hits from big enemies and you are dead, and you will have to replay the whole chapter again. If that doesn't scare you, keep in mind that the game has around 90% of the positive review score and is probably a thing you want to try. The Darkside Detective. Here you'll have to tune your sixth sense and join the Darkside division to investigate supernatural, bizarre and dangerous cases of spooky Twin Lakes town. Flesh-hungry tentacles, creepy cultists, demons and occasional missing sock are no match for the Darkside Detective, which is you, and the game promises to have at least 3 jokes, and I can promise that there are way more, at least 4. You know, the game is made using cutting-edge, new generation pixels that look the same as usual pixels, and along with the game, if you buy it, will handle you 1 free curse removal. So if you are cursed, just buy this game and the curse will fade. Works up to 7 generations. Anyway, you'll find 9 paranormal, supernatural, bite-sized micro cases to investigate around the town. Will you crack them or will they suck your IQ to the limits? It's up to you and your IQ, if you have any. Suggested amount is to have it a bit above room temperature. Game has above 90% positive reviews, although few dudes are complaining that the game likes to crash at the worst moments, so save the game as often as you can, or you know, live by the rule.
Brave, do not save.
And risk your time like a boss. War for the Overworld. This is a strategy-based building RTS where you will excavate and build your own dungeon. Yes, you are almighty evil dungeon master or mistress. Here you can choose from over 60 rooms, spells, potions, rituals, defenses and constructs as you progress through the game. Just be warned, the game is quite fast-paced, so you'll have to build like a swift underlord you are, or else your beautiful dungeon creatures might not win against the ugly, puny heroes. In the game you can also build your own maps and campaigns, so unleash that inner creator you borrowed somewhere deep down under the bed long time ago. It's your time to shine. People on Steam are calling this game a spiritual successor of Dungeon Keeper. You know, with all the dark humor, evil creatures and evil you. The Outer Worlds. Somehow I always think that this game gets too little attention. It is definitely one of the best RPG games I have played in recent years. It is funny, it has secrets, many guns and places to explore. It's not just Fallout in space. I had more fun playing The Outer Worlds than I had playing Fallout 4. Even if this is a bit smaller game, I can absolutely give it 9 cold beers out of 10 and recommend it to you without a doubt. But I have to mention that it has some cons as well, like unbalanced difficulty. You know, at first you die a lot, but later everything else dies in seconds, even the strongest monsters. Then you may think,
hey, I will switch from hard to the hardest difficulty.
But you can't. You have to play the whole game on this hardest difficulty without switching it off, because developers decided to add some stupid achievements most of the players don't even care about. So you will feel overpowered all the time and you can't do anything about that. That's why I didn't buy and didn't play the last DLC. I already feel like a combat god, everything just dies when I blink. Kingdom Rush Tower Defense. This is one of the best rated games on Steam overall. The review score revolves around 97%, and that is more than impressive for a simple tower defense game. Well, to call it simple is overstating. It is made so well you will constantly feel rewarded by the decisions you make. So in other words, this is a serotonin factory for your brain. Few years ago I was running an electric scooter rental business in Palanga, one of the resort cities of Lithuania, and this game helped me kill time big time. You know, when you have to sit all day in one place hoping that someone will rent your scooter, that may sound boring, and it was. Well, money was good, but still the boredom was overwhelming. But when I installed this game on my laptop, I was excited to go to work because I could play it all day, and that was awesome. This game, and honestly the whole franchise of Kingdom Rush, is amazing and undoubtedly the best tower defense game I have ever tried in my life. I can totally recommend it for you without any doubts. Injustice 2 Legendary Edition. So this is basically the same as Mortal Kombat, just with different characters and no gore. You can't pull out the backbone through the mouth of your adversary, and if you want to do that, you are looking at the wrong game. So you can actually play this one with your 5-year-old niece and be embarrassed when she tears another asshole in your body with her awesome fighting skills. Nah, I'm kidding, kids are not good at games, and because it's forbidden to beat them in real life, you can at least do that in this game. Don't hold back, show them who's the boss. So in this version you will get 10 additional characters, including Teenage Mutant Ninja Snakes, or lizards, can't remember. Anyway, here you can become Batman as well, and beat everyone. On easy difficulty, you got this. Blood West. This is a surprisingly original first-person stealth shooter, a mix of Western and Lovecraftian horrors. You'll become the undead gunslinger, doomed to roam the barren lands until you find the means to purge the curse and free your soul. You'll be wandering through the canyons, creepy swamps and lonely mountains. Well, only the mountains will be lonely. You won't be. Sounds of different monsters will keep you company at all times. It will take you over 20 hours on average to casually complete all 3 scenarios. People on Steam are naming this game a hidden gem, a hardcore, brutal, unholy blood diamond to be exact, although many are dissatisfied with the third act.
Not as good as those 2 before,
they say. Shadow Tactics: Aiko's Choice. The game is a standalone expansion of the Shadow Tactics franchise, meaning that you are not required to have the main game to play it, and that Aiko's Choice is a full game with no strings attached. It is set in Japan around the early Edo period. Aiko's Choice is a stealth strategy where the main protagonist is a master of camouflage and distracts enemies disguised as a geisha. But it's not the only character you will be able to control. An agile ninja, mighty samurai, young thief, wise marksman and perverted penis doctor joins your course as well. Well, maybe not the latter, but you never know who's gonna jump to your aid unexpectedly. Wartales. It has been 100 years since the world saw the fall of the once great Edoran Empire at the hands of an unprecedented plague that swept the nation. So prepare to lead a group of characters in a huge open world where combat, death and thirst for riches will shape and define your day-to-day life. You are not a special chosen one ushering in a new era of peace. Nah, your goal is solely to survive, well, and thrive in this harsh and hostile land. From the most insignificant petty thieves to the land's most notorious figures, there is no such thing as a profit too small to take. You can recruit from the vast array of new companions with numerous unique skill sets and weapon preferences, resulting in a plethora of possible builds. You will accept contracts that will take you on a task to defend, liberate and save the many inhabitants of the land for money. You are not a hero, remember? Also here you will be able to collect bounties, from the most insignificant pathetic thieves to the land's most notorious figures. There is no such thing as a profit too small to take. Very wise words. Probably many times spoken by Quark from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Age of Darkness: Final Stand. Since that StarCraft mission I played 20 years ago, where I had to hold my base intact against a never-ending Zerg attack, this concept landed in a warm place in my cold beard heart. Later I have played countless maps like that on StarCraft 2, and then Their Billions was released. I enjoyed the game, it was so fun to play, but I was slightly disappointed as well, because it lacked unit types and was kinda repetitive. Age of Darkness is a bit different. It has a technology allowing over 70,000 swarming AI units on screen at the same time. Also day and night transitions and more defensive unit types than they are Billions had. The downside is that some people are complaining that campaign missions are bugged and sometimes the game just crashes. In survival mode it is a way better experience. Although the game is in early access, don't expect miracles. Anyway, defending from hordes of nightmares is a very satisfying experience. And yeah, that sounds nice, but we all know how this gameplay will go for you. You'll see some zombies breaching your walls and then you'll be like,
this is fine.
and after a moment you'll just rage quit. Slay the Spire. More than 100,000 players are recommending this game for you, and so do I. Slay the Spire is a fuse of card games and roguelike titles. Here you can craft a unique deck, encounter bizarre creatures, and discover relics of immense power while trying to climb up the ladder. Game features a dynamic deck building, so assemble your deck wisely. Discover hundreds of cards to add to your deck with each attempt at climbing the spire. Select cards that work together to efficiently dispatch foes and reach the top. People on Steam are talking that Slay the Spire is really addictive, and yeah, I'm seeing a lot of hours played in the comment section. 200 is quite a casual number here, so another game that will keep your virginity safe and sound for a long time. The Gunk. This is an action-adventure game in which you play as one of two gritty space holes. As you are struggling to bring in funds, you chance upon an untouched planet brimming with life. You came in search of valuable resources and it looks like you hit the jackpot. But as you uncover the dormant secrets of a shattered civilization, you must battle the curse of a toxic gunk parasite. You will use your trusty power glove to reverse the corruption, uncover secrets of old and heal the planet. Also experience the evolving relationship of the crew as you explore this unique world. The game has a very positive review score, so it may be a good choice for your evening. Tower of Time. This is a story-rich dungeon crawler with innovative real-time combat that lets you pause or slow time. And here you have to turn on your brain if you want to succeed. And I mean it, every battle is specially designed to be a tactical puzzle, so it might be a bit challenging. Or impossible, depends on your IQ I guess. Well, you can always adjust the difficulty, but that is an instant insult to your brain power, isn't it? Also because of that, the game is really suitable for fans of the genre and not so friendly for new players. Tower of Time will burn about 50 hours of your boring lifetime as you enjoy handcrafted levels and interesting story. Here you'll also find thousands of pieces of loot and equipment. Devilated. As developers say, this is a bastard child of an old-school shooter and action RPGs, after snorting a line of raw, uncut hyper-violence. You'll shoot, slice and strike your way through a mysterious labyrinth, overflowing with bloodthirsty monsters out to tear you apart. You will unleash your style and savagery with a combo meter keeping score. Use the bodies of your enemies as living shields and then devour them for health. Slow down time to land every shot, or to simply appreciate gory poetry in motion, and equip a wide arsenal of everything from blades to rocket launchers, to let the world know that you will crush any opposition or position. Yeah, you don't care, all you want is blood, destruction and potato salad. Lamentum. You will find an intriguing story with the best tropes of Bram Stoker and H.P. Lovecraft implemented. I won't spoil you the plot though, all I can say that this is an example of a game that doesn't hold your hand or penis. Here you can combine things to make new things. Sadly, only those things that are meant to be combined can be conjoined together. For example, you can't combine a tooth with a coin or a pineapple with potato salad because that is a blasphemy! The surroundings of the game are made very well and they are kinda creepy. Weird paintings on the wall, blood on the ground and intestines in the bathroom makes your imagination go wild. It is very easy to immerse yourself in this game and take it as a story from a book. But Lamentum is not only a story, here are plenty of dangerous places that are ready to kill you without any hesitation. Monsters are creepy, but if you have a sword or other weapon you can easily chop them to pieces. Although at the beginning you are unarmed and your only weapon is your running capability. Sadly enough, I discovered that I can run only after several deaths.
What a shame.
Yeah. Monster Hunter Rise. This is originally a Nintendo Switch game released back in 2021. Now we have this action-soaked game on Steam as well, and this version is obviously upgraded to meet our expectations. You will rise to the challenge and become a hunter, explore brand new maps and use a variety of weapons to take down fearsome monsters. That's what developers say, but I would change the word fearsome to airy-fairy, because those monsters are anything but fearsome. Although they are beautiful, I can't deny that. Each monster you hunt will provide materials that allow you to create new weapons and ammo. You can also upgrade your existing gear so you can go back on the field and hunt even more airier and fairer monsters and earn even better rewards. Of course, all of that is presented in 4K resolution with ultra-wide monitor support and unlocked frame rate. God and Story. This is a social sim and adventure RPG where you play as Concord, a newly appointed village guardian. There is lots to keep you busy. Not only your neighbors need assistance, but a mysterious rot has seeped into the foundations of once flourishing island. Honestly, that part of the story is a shameful ripoff from yonder Cloudcatcher Chronicles, or from a never-ending story. Although that doesn't really matter because this game is really different in many other aspects. Anyway, he will help your friends with their struggles and they will help you through yours. You know that raging addiction to pineapples in your potato salad will not go away by itself. You need help. So here you will have to balance caring for the environment, exploring new regions and fostering new friendships as you solve puzzles and help restore the grove to glory. Hardspace, Shipbreaker. There are so many games where you just fly the spaceships, but have you ever thought about where these ships go when you don't need them anymore? Well, me neither. That would be dumb. But someone couldn't shake the idea and made this game. So here, equipped with cutting-edge salvaging technology, you will carve and slice spaceships to recover valuable materials, upgrade your gear and take on more lucrative contracts, and pay your billion credits debt to a shady corporation. Human life means nothing to them, so you are just a tool with a capability of holding other tools. You know, if your hammer could hold another hammer, nobody would need you at all. Just think about that, how fragile everything is. Anyway, the game is a proud owner of very positive reviews, and if you feel adventurous, this may be your spoon of potato salad. Although be careful, too much of zero gravity can convert you into another space object. A comet. A vomit comet. Necesse. Here you'll find an infinite procedurally generated world full of mysteries to uncover. As you grow your settlement, you will also lead expeditions against pirate kings, dragons, fallen wizards and people who write in all caps. Here you can spend your days crawling through dungeons, searching for treasures and raw materials for equipment crafting. Also, you may answer the call to adventure, traversing the seas and seeking out great foes to test your prowess. Recruit settlers with particular skills and work alongside them to mine a wide variety of ores. Craft gear tailored to your preferred playstyle and establish a flourishing, amazing village. But knowing you, there is a big chance that your village will be puny and pathetic. No offense. Okay, a little offense. What are you gonna do, huh? Well, jokes aside, people are saying that the game looks simple, but it's actually really complex and fun. More than 90% of reviews are positive. Resident Evil Village. The story is set a few years after the events in Resident Evil 7. The all-new storyline begins when a man and his wife start living peacefully in a new location, free from their past nightmares and horrors. And just as they are building their new life together, then, you know, stuff happens. Otherwise, it would be a love story, not a fantasy story with horror elements. Village is one of the coolest games ever, with an atmosphere creepier than your neighbor-in-law.
Wait, what? That exists?
I don't know, I hope not. Also, this game is not a pure horror game as you can imagine. It's really not that scary, it's just creepy. And overwhelmingly positive reviews are here for a reason. This game is fantastic. Also, you can play the free demo version on Steam. The Walking Dead, the Telltale Definitive Series. I think most of us have watched or at least have heard about the TV series of The Walking Dead. It was a wonderful show for a few seasons. Then almost every at least a bit more interesting actor left the show, mostly because of the poor writing, but it still continued for like 30 more seasons. Well, I am exaggerating of course, and I have to admit that I stopped watching it way past the mark where it stopped being good. Where a hair model without any acting skills and a samurai girl without face expressions led the show. It was bad but still addicting. Anyway, I'm telling you all this because this game is like TV show, but when it was actually good. Yeah, I know it's hard to remember those times, but Telltale's game is a masterpiece, and this time I am not exaggerating. This version contains 23 unique episodes and more than 40 hours of content. It may not be the cheapest game, but if you want a story-rich interactive fiction with multiple endings, it would be hard to find a better deal than this. Wildermyth. Game has overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, meaning that it is close to a masterpiece and it is blasphemy to ignore it. Literally, you will burn in hell. of your religion of choice if you at least don't watch the short overview of Wildermyth till the end. Or for an atheist, you'll find cat hairs in your coffee all the time, even if you don't own a cat. Way worse than hell. So like the best tabletop role-playing experiences, this game gives you choices and answers your every decision with consequences that drive your characters forward. The best thing is that all heroes here will die someday. Yeah, that is probably not the best thing, to be honest, but here you'll get to hold on to your favorites, reintroduce them in the next adventure, and over many lifetimes you create your own legendary pantheon. This game is truly great.
Tony Boy robs a bank.
That dude is a real menace, and he is ready to commit more felonies in this comedic action-adventure game with roguelike elements. This time the career criminal is teaming up with a fearsome pickled gang to plan and execute the most notorious heist of all time. You will have to shake down hostages, steal precious valuables, and explore the deep, dark depths and history of the botanical bank. You'll need to purchase an array of dangerous and wacky tools from the dark web. However, bank robbing isn't easy, so be prepared for intense shootouts with security vegetables and elite SWAT teams. People on Steam aren't holding their horses when they speak about the game. Almost unanimously people are praising the title and calling it a masterpiece. Although keep in mind that it is quite short, it will take from 6 to 10 hours to beat. A Plague Tale: Innocence. Here you'll take control of young Amisha and her little brother Hugo in a journey through the darkest hours of history. Haunted by Inquisition soldiers and surrounded by unstoppable swarms of rats, you will struggle to survive against overwhelming odds. Dead, rotten bodies lay everywhere, and rats, oh, those creatures can and will eat anyone alive who does not carry a light source. As I always say, this is a bit unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
You know, rats are no vampires. I used to own one, it liked bathing in the sun rays.
Well, what if those are vampire rats?
I never actually thought about that. Anyway, keep in mind that the atmosphere here is grim and dark, so if you are a sensitive person, it may prove a challenge to play. Game tend to pull the ropes of emotion, and if you let your guard down and allow it to do its dark job, it will control you like a puppet. But in general, all that darkness is cool and original, keeping in mind all those airy, fairy unicorn games people are used to play these days. And now thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Subscribe.